In Christianity, a lot is made of the sheep and the goats, and specifically in Matthew 25, Jesus is speaking and he talks about when the Son of Man shall come in his glory and he shall sit as king before the nations of the world and separate these sheep and these goats. And he's going to say that the sheep will inherit the kingdom prepared for them from the foundation of the world. For as he says, I was hungry and you gave me meat. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in, naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came unto me. And that's seen in the literal sense, all those physical aspects of life: hunger, thirst, sickness, nakedness, imprisonment. So those who do those things are those sheep. And so you have Christian ministries all over the place providing for those needs of hunger, thirst, clothing, visiting the imprisoned, helping the sick. I know people that do that. Nice people, kind people. We all do the best we can. But I believe there's a lot of people, because I've heard people tell me this, that they give something to a homeless person because they believe it'll be counted to them. And yet they want nothing to do with God, as far as I can tell. Not that I'm the judge of them. I'm just saying their life is involved in whatever, not necessarily drugs and alcohol and all this other things of the flesh, but they have nothing to do with God in essence. As far as they're not interested in him, they don't know who he is, they don't want to find out. They say they believe in God, so they do these things to please him. And I thought that's a reason to be cynical of taking it in that physical way, as opposed to the spiritual sense. Jesus said, he applied all these things in a spiritual sense. He said, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. So there's our meat, there's our food. And our thirst, well, the Spirit is the life-giving water of God. We are clothed in Jesus Christ. We are no longer naked because of that. He is the one who makes us whole. And we are definitely in bondage, in prison, whether it's in the world and in our flesh, or in the very carnal and paganistic church systems, of which, as far as my wife can tell, and I are about 99% of them. So what do we need? We need Jesus. We need the Spirit of our God to take away that thirst, that hunger, that sickness, nakedness, and imprisonment. That is the thing we are to bring to people, to bring the Spirit of God, because I think we could all agree that if we give them food and drink and clothes and visit them and give them medicine, and they never know who our God is, they're just going to die and be separated from him in the end. Whereas it would be better to suffer from all those things and know him and be with him forever, even if in this life it was a pretty hard one. And I think we could all agree on that. So I just wanted to put that down as something to think about, because the physical or the carnal seems to be the thing we all gravitate towards, as though we can win or gain the Spirit of God or the blessings of God by our physical work. And this is just another example of it, whereas we should be more concerned with feeding people the love of God. Not that I'm counseling against or saying you shouldn't help a homeless or hungry person. It's just that know what is of more value. And if they don't want the Spirit of God or the knowledge of God, then there's only so much you can do. And just realize that they've made their own choice. And those who are hungry for God will know him, and they will receive what you have, which is the real food, the real drink, the real medicine, the real clothes, and the real freedom. In Jesus' name, amen.